Welcome, folks. In this lesson, we are going to look at some rewrites. Rewrites that will involve changing parts of speech. The second one will be dismantling a word to a phrase. Then the third one will be using a hyphen to form compound words. The fourth one will be replacing a phrase with another phrase. Now, before we begin with our rewrites, I have 10 advanced words that I would like to share with you guys. So the importances of learning advanced words, we want to take our grammar to the next level. Not only that, we want to sound professions as we speak English in our everyday conversation. And the purpose of comprehension is to understand the given passage, then you answer questions from that passage. So you need to at least know some of these advanced terminologies so that in case you encounter them, you'll be able to answer something like that. So the first one is very open, like someone who is very open, someone who is easy to talk to. So this person can be considered as a transparent one. So I can say my friend, my partner is transparent. It simply means that person is very open. Then the second one, very intelligent. We use brilliant. Very honest, we can use straightforward. So if you want, you can just say I'm a straightforward person. So that simply means I am a very honest person. Then apart from straightforward, we can also use frank. Number four, very interesting. Like if you are watching a movie and you are enjoying, we usually say this movie is very interesting. So we can use fascinating. Apart from fascinating, we have very rich. We use worthy, well off, prosperous. Right, we move on to number six. So number six, very neat. So we can use immaculate. This place is immaculate. Number seven, very poor. So we use impoverished. Then apart from impoverished, we can also use destitute. Then number eight, very sleepy, like someone that is drowsing. So you can just say, oh, the reason why I'm not responding quickly is because I'm very sleepy. So we use the word lethargic. Number nine, very tasty, like the food looks very tasty. You can say appetizing or delicious. Then number 10, very risky. So we use perilous. Now, I'm not saying these are the only words. Like, for example, if we look at very neat, I'm not saying the only word that exists is immaculate. So you may encounter other advanced words that can be used the same as the one that we have listed here. So I just want to add that list of advanced words in your life. So now let's move on to our focus. So our focus is where now we want to look at the rewrites. And the first one is changing parts of speech. Now, what are we really looking at? So here we'll be looking at changing a verb into a noun, adjectives into an adverb, then and so on. Now let's look at the first one. So the first one we are told the advance party was warmly welcomed. So the word warmly is an adverb. So an adverb is a word that describes a verb. Now, for the first sentence, we are given warmly. Now, in the second sentence, we are given warm. So, warm is an adjective. So we want to rewrite a sentence that has an adverb, and our main focus is to change an adverb into an adjective. So how can we write this sentence ending with a warm welcome? So we can say the advance party was received with a warm welcome. We move on to number 2. They loved each other despite their recent quarrel. So we look at loved. So loved is a verb. Then they showed, we are going to use love. So love here is a noun. So we are looking at changing a verb into a noun. So we say they showed love to each other. Despite their recent quarrel. Okay, we move on to number 3. In our probability, the outcome will be possible. So we are changing a word that is in a noun form into a word that is in a verb form. So the word probability is a noun. Now, probability simply means a likelihood. Probability is a word that can show the chance of something to happen or not to happen. So in our probability, the outcome will be possible. So what is the verb form of the word probability? So we use probable. So I'm going to say it is probable, excuse me, that the outcome will be positive. We move on to number 4. I express regrets to my brutal action. So regrets in this case represents noun. Now if you look at begin, I said, I regretted. I regretted. So the word regretted is a verb. So we are changing from its noun form into its verb form. So I said I regretted my brutal action. We move on to number 5. So now number 5 here, we are now looking at dismantling a word to a phrase. So we are given a word, a single word, and we want to now use what we call the phrasal verb. So the phrasal verb is a part of English where you have a verb combined with the preposition. In most cases, we have a preposition. So the meaning of the initial words in that phrasal verb changes with the meaning formed by the combination of those words. For example, if I say I ran into Peter yesterday. So this doesn't mean like running, the running that we are looking at into, it's not like running into someone inside, no. So run or ran into simply means I met someone by accident, meaning I didn't know that I'm going to meet this one. So ran into is a phrasal verb because it is giving us a new meaning away from the actual meaning of the initial words. So for the first one, we are told Mr. George W. Bush resembles his father. So the single word that we have is resemble. So we want to find the phrasal verb that we can use to mean the same as resemble, but that phrasal verb must have the word takes. So we are going to say Mr. George W. Bush takes after. So takes after simply means like he, to resemble. So takes after his father. Number 6, when I was a boy, I didn't like to be insulted. So the word is when. So which phrasal verb can we use? That can use simply means the same as when, and that phrasal verb must have the word during. So we are going to say during the time that. So this whole thing here is a phrase. During the time that I was a boy. I was a boy. I did not like to be insulted. Number 7, the vice chairperson represented the chairperson in the meeting. So the chairperson was absent, but he was represented by this vice chairperson. So the word that we are interested here in is represented. So which word can we use that can mean the same as it, represent? So we are going to say the vice chairperson stood, since it's a past, stood in for. So stood in for the chairperson in the meeting. So to stand in for someone simply means to represent. Like, let's say if you are going for a school program or maybe a church program and your actual leader is not coming, then if you want to say, I'm going to represent you, I'm going to be there for you in your absence, you can just say, I am going to stand in for you. So in the meeting. So that's our answer. Okay, so let's hope we are learning at least one or two. Then we move on to number 8. So number 8 is where we are going to now use what we call the hyphen to form what we call the compound words. For example, he went on leave for 6 weeks. So we are given the period. Then the question is begin, he went on, end with the word leave. So we say he went on a 6-week. So on a 6-week leave. So on this one, we don't have to add the S. We don't have to make the week plural. It's just like this, 6-week. Because of we have formed what we call the compound. So the hyphen is this symbol here. So this is what we call the hyphen. So the two words, the 6 and the week, have become the compound words. Now we move on to number 9. Mwangala lives in a house that has 2 bedrooms. Then begin, ending with the word house. So we're going to say Mwangala lives in a 2-bedroom D. So this now becomes from bedrooms has to be bedroom D house. Mwangala lives in a 2-bedroom D house. We have number 10. Kangwa was wearing a pair of shoes made in China. Begin dash dash pair of shoes. So say Kangwa was wearing a Chinese made pair of shoes. Now we move on to number 11. So number 11 up to number 14, we are going to look at, we have been given a phrasal verb, but we need to use another phrasal verb different from the one that we have used in the first sentence. The first one, we should be getting in touch with them from time to time. So here we have time to time. So we are going to use the now and again. So we will say we should be getting in touch with them from now and again. In fact, I don't need to put from. So just say we should be getting in touch with them now and again. So now and again simply means time to time. We go to question 12. You can for now be reporting to the senior teacher. So what is our phrase in this sentence? So the phrase in this sentence is for now. Now we have been given until, so until a later time. So until a later time, comma. So this phrase simply means for now. Until a later time, comma, you can be reporting to the senior teacher. Number 13, he despises his cousins. So from this one, just look at the word despises. So we are going to say he looks down. If want, we can use upon, or we can just use on his cousins. So the word despise simply means look down upon or down on. Number 14, the last one. I regard him as my son. So say I look on him as my son. I know maybe one is thinking of, okay, what if we say I look at him? Look at him is like showing someone like the direction, but this one is they are giving us like this person, considered this person has his or her son. So this is what I prepared for you guys. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.